Hey everyone, Vlad here, and today I'm back with you for another awesome camp locations video. This one's theme is cabins and houses, and even after the bombs drop, these remain intact. Some of these locations even have multiple houses in the same area, and you can incorporate multiple into the same build. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let's jump right in. We're going to start things off today in the Mire, and this is a tiny little cabin tucked away in this little canyon, and it's a pretty cool little location. It has some water going on, so you can use that for resources. Also have some glowing fungus type stuff going on, brain fungus I think, and we also have a tinker's workbench already in place. Here's a view of the canyon that we're in. It's pretty flat, so good conditions for building there. Now, on the inside of the cabin, we have some lockers going on, some shelving, a table, and some filing cabinets. Now, this is at an angle because it's kind of been taken over by the tree, so you'll have to work with that if you decide to build inside the cabin. Here's the tree that goes up the canyon. It's got some crates and stuff in the vines, and I think that's pretty cool. And the only thing I don't like about this location is that it's in the mire. You get these crazy things going on with the lighting as it comes through the trees, and you also have that terrible green mist. I was able to not get it in the video so much, but we're just north of Ella Ames Bunker and south of Gulper Lagoon for this one. Next, we're moving on to Jay Schram's house, and this is a pretty cool location in the forest, and it also includes this little hangar storage area that can be incorporated into your build. The house itself is pretty run down. It doesn't have front or back door. It has all of these cat bowls in it, so it is a good place to farm some plastic if you decide not to build here. And the inside, the furniture is arranged pretty well, but there's a lot of destruction that's happened to the inside of the house over time. This top floor is pretty holy. You're gonna fall through it unless you put down some rugs or something. Unfortunately, the bed in this upper bedroom is derelict. You can't use it. You're gonna have to find your own bedroom instead of using that bed. On the outside, we have this truck and we have a garage. You can't enter that garage. And then here is the hangar that is close by. You do have to lockpick the doors to get inside, so keep that in mind if you decide to put a lot of your main camp in here. You're gonna have to pick the door every time you switch servers, but that might be kind of fun to incorporate. And then also inside we have hay bales, we have some tractors and stuff, and all of these petrified corpses. We are just north of the Bolton Greens, and here's a few other locations for reference. Moving on, we are in the Cranberry Bog, and this is to the very, very south of the Cranberry Bog, but luckily we are in an area that doesn't get nuked so often down here. And the cabin itself is pretty complete. The roof needs some help, but the inside is really nice and clean, well organized, but plenty of open space for you to do what you want. This one, the bed does work, so you can use that and save yourself some budget and some extra XP from being well rested. Now on the outside we have this outhouse, and you've got a permanent visitor here, and I think he has a poem there next to him, so you can pick that up and do some reading. And then on the outside we have a weapons workbench on the outskirts, and that pretty much completes this area. We are again very, very south in the Cranberry Bog, and here's some places for reference. This next location is pretty cool. We're back into the forest area right on the edge of the ash heap. We are just a little bit north of Camden Park for this one. We have this cool little demolished car sitting in the driveway. These little porches are very clean and clear. You can put whatever you want there. The inside has seen some better days, but it does have some cool things like these little laundry dryer and washers. You also have some interesting stuff there in the refrigerator, but a full kitchen that you can work around. And we have this TV, which is one that we can't build ourselves. We have a bed and a kid's crib in the bedroom. And inside the bathroom, it is a pretty complete bathroom. We got a shower and we got a sink, but we also have this unique little rad roach that has been dressed up with his cane, and he also has a wedding ring on him. So if you've been trying to figure out where to find one of those rings, he has one on him. You can stop by and pick it up. But moving on through the house, we have a second porch that we can exit. And again, this one's really, really clean, so you can do whatever you want with it. It just has this one chair sitting on it. And here is the back end of the house. Not much going on there, but it leaves you some room to build onto the foundation there. And again, we are just north of Camden Park and south of the Nuka-Cola plant. This next cabin is a smaller one as well. We are just north of the White Springs, or south of the White Springs actually, and we have the Jeep in the drive, we have this truck in the drive. Inside is pretty well decorated. We have a bearskin rug, we've got that gramophone over there in the corner, we have a functional bed. This is a Nuka Shine location, so people may happen upon your camp if they decide to drink some Nuka Shine, and it teleports them there. On the outside we have this outhouse, which is missing its door. And we also have some cool things going on. We have this deer that's hung up in the tree. We have an archery target that is sitting there on the edge of the cabin. And on this other side, we have another truck and a canoe. And then lastly, we have some aster plants, which are somewhat hard to find sometimes. Then we have some places of reference for you so you can find this location yourself. This next location is a complete house. The roof is perfect on this one. You're not going to find much better examples of a complete house in the game. And you can put your camp down here as this really nice little walkway leading up to the front porch. Front porch again is pretty clean like the last one we saw, and you can do with it a lot of different things. Moving on into the house, we have a nice little TV setup. That door is propped permanently open by that golf bag. I did not jump into this little attic area, but it has some potential when you start doing your build. We have a nice little bedroom setup and some couches. We have a really nice, really clean kitchen other than the table. Somebody looks like they've been using that broom that's sitting in the corner and cleaned this up for you. This bathroom is pretty elaborate in this one, so it's pretty cool. You got a toilet, you got a full regular old bathtub and a sink, even a towel sitting there hanging on the wall. So some pretty cool things to, make this location unique. And then in the backyard, we have a swing set, which is pretty cool. And we also have a doghouse down here by the bottom of this tree. Now this one is right on the edge of the ash heap, and it's just down the road from the fire station. This next location is a bit tricky when it comes to actually incorporating into your camp, but it's a really cool location and I decided it was worth including. And you will also get NPCs spawning here, so that's pretty cool. Inside is pretty well decorated. You got some cooking stuff going on in the corner. You have a bunk bed going on. You have also a table that is pretty well set. And then we have this little storage closet going on with a safe and some cleaning supplies. Outside we have a water spigot. This bed is usable. And I did mention that this is a bit of a challenge to put your camp down and include the house. So let me show you where you can put down your camp and make sure it is part of the camp. So see how it's red here? There's also some crops out in the back. That's something I didn't mention, but it's pretty cool. So you can't place your camp right at the house. What you're gonna have to do is kind of move over to this corner and go diagonal with it. And if you get it to the closest spot that it turns green, you can incorporate the cabin into your camp build. And here we are on the edge of the mire, just to the west of the Gulper Lagoon. This next house is pretty cool. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about the layout once you walk through it. It doesn't make much sense. But I know you're looking at that front door and you see it's boarded up, so you're probably asking yourself, I thought you said these were pre-existing houses that you could build in, and you can. The entrance is actually on the back end of this one. On the outskirts, we also have these cool little tanning racks going on. I really like that as part of the build. We have this little balcony And this is part of the stuff that doesn't make sense because you can't go upstairs here, and the inside layout doesn't kind of flow. But we also have a armor workbench. We have this deer hanging out on the back. Inside we have this pool table, and otherwise a fairly empty room with stuff to decorate and stuff. Now this is where we don't make much sense. That door would have to lead directly to the front door. There's no room for an upper floor, yet it has an upper deck and things of that. So the house itself makes no sense when it comes to the layout. But we are here in the forest. This next location is a trifecta of cabins, and there are 3 of them, and they are the biggest cabins you can build in the game. They are really well decorated with things going on inside of them, some scenes that we can't make ourselves in some cases. This one is the first of the 3, and it is pretty scarce on the existing decorations, which means you can fill it up and decorate it any way you please. We have some beds, so this room is not very usable, but for the most part I think I like this one the best, even though this next one, the one that I show second, is probably the one I see most used by people. This one is the one, like I said, is used most by people that I see building camps in this area. It has a really big deck on the outside, and you can put down, you know, a lot of different things. Mostly I see people putting their vendors out here, but you can use it for a lot of different things. Inside you have this really nice living room setup. You also have this red menace machine that is something we can't build ourselves, so a really cool addition. You also have an upstairs to this little cabin. Not much going on there, so I don't think I ran up there for this video, but you also have that small upstairs area. You also have some invisible beds. I'm just kidding, that's just Fallout 76 being Fallout 76, but normally there are beds in that room. And on the outside we have some deer cleaning area, and we also have a fire spit. So this is the 3rd one of the 3 cabins, and it is the worst decision of the 3. I can tell you that right now, because this one spawns super mutants all the time, so you're going to be constantly dealing with them as you visit your camp. So if you like collecting the XP or rebuilding your camp because things destroyed it while you were gone, then go for this 3rd cabin. But it's a choice, and you can build here, so I'm letting you know it's available. It does have a really nice kitchen. It has a little seating area, and also a little area with a TV, and this little deck out here. We are just north of Bolton Greens and into the west of Monoghan Power Plant. This next location is probably one of the coolest that I've come across. We are just to the south of Seneca Rocks Visitor Center. When you look at it on the map, we have this house here that can be incorporated, and I'm not really sure if it was a full house. It seems more like a little rest stop type overnight area instead of more of a house. But inside is pretty cluttered. We have a lot of things that look like they were just here for storage reasons. And then we do have a bunk bed, but you can't use the bunk bed. There's a tinkerer's workbench, which is pretty cool, and then you have some shelving over there in the corner. On the outside of this house, you have some pallets and some bricks. Pretty cool. I like the clutter there. You also have some barrels. Now, what makes this one special is if you run just a little bit, you come to these 3 complete houses. These are complete houses. The roofs are perfect. You have 3 of them. You can incorporate all 3 into your camp at the same time. So this is really unique amongst the locations in the game. And you can build inside all 3 of them. They are all accessible. The enemies that spawn in here are rad roaches, so don't worry about the enemies. They're not going to cause much harm at all. And you have the seating and stuff going on. You have some furniture with sheets over them, I guess to protect them against nuclear winter. But all of them have a little tiny bit of a porch going on. And some of them have things that we can't build ourselves, like this special TV style that we can't build. We have a gramophone, which is pretty cool. We got a desk with a typewriter on it. And this one is missing a door over there on the side, but you can kind of mitigate that yourself. And then here is the 3rd house. And again, it has a porch. It's got a refrigerator sitting on it. We have a little bit of a barbecue grill over on the side of the house. And then this one on the inside is the most rundown. You have a bunch of garbage kind of on the floor over here on the left-hand side. But otherwise, pretty buildable area and pretty open for you to decorate as you see fit. This also has this little kind of green room attachment to the side of the house. Now, I did have come across someone who had built here recently, and they had everything decorated for Christmas, and they had a Santa sleigh with reindeer and stuff, so it was a really cool build. And if you want to check that out or some ideas of what to do with this location, then that's a good place to start. And we also have some clutter out here on the edges, but for this one, like I said, we are to the south of the Seneca Rocks Visitor Center on the map. This is my Holy Grail location for pre-existing houses and cabins. Why? Because we have two houses in the same place. Both of them are multiple stories, so they aren't really tiny houses. Yes, the last location we were at had 3 houses that you could use, but they're fairly small, and these are much bigger. But we have some other elements going on, I'll get to those in just a second, that I think make this a Holy Grail location. Now, this is the first house. It's well put together, really cleaned up. I think it's meant to look like these NPCs that will show up are living out of the house at this time. So it is really clean. It does have areas of opportunity for you to put down your own decorations and really make it your own. But it's really cool because you could just leave these as is and have a really cool camp to go with. Just throw down some nice little crafting areas or an entrance to a shelter, and you could call it a day. The second house is really cool. We have the living room set up. You have a really nice kitchen in this one with kind of a floating counter there, and we also have a workbench already set up for us. Upstairs has really nice decorations as well. The floor is complete on this one, and we have TV set up. We have a bookshelf. We have a bedroom with a really nice bed in it, and we also have a bathroom. Now, what makes this Holy Grail for me is, one, there's a playground next to it. I think that adds a lot of character to a location since we can't place that type of stuff ourselves. And what also makes it a Holy Grail location is that it has this crops already set up and planted for you on the back end of one of these houses, which is an extra added resource. And then we are right next to this river in the Toxic Valley, and that means that you have access to water from the camp. So for this one, we are just to the west of Becker Farm on the map. Those are my cabins and houses locations that are still intact after the war in Fallout 76. Hopefully you found one that you think would make a nice place to build your camp and incorporate them into your builds. I think I got every single one of them that are available in the game, but I'm not perfect. I may have missed some, so if you have one in mind, then leave it down in the comments. I'm sure the community will be glad to know about them. I'll check them out. I may even include them in one of my future videos. And I thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll catch you later.